Good morning, boys and girls. Today we're going to be reading about bees for writing. Listen carefully to some of the different facts, and then you can tell me all about the bees in your writing. Outside, the sun is shining. The flowers are blooming and the bees are buzzing. When some people see bees, they run. Others might not notice the bees, but let's stop and take a closer look. Bees are helpful. Our world needs bees. Bees help both people and plants. Honeybees make honey and beeswax. People use these things in lots of ways. Beeswax is used to make candles and cleaning supplies. Honey is sweet and delicious. All kinds of bees help plants make seeds. Seeds can grow into new plants. Some of those plants give us fruit and vegetables. We can thank bees for strawberries, apples, almonds, tomatoes, and many other foods. When a bee lands on a flower, the flower's pollen rubs off on the bee. Pollen sticks to the tiny hairs on the bee's body. When the bee travels to another flower, pollen from the bee brushes off onto the new flower. This is called pollination. Now the new flower can start to make new seeds. A bee's leg has special hairs that form a basket. The bee brushes pollen into the basket. Then it flies back to the nest. This pollen is used as foods for baby bees. These pollen baskets are filled with pollen. Only female bees have them. So this is a full pollen basket, and this is an empty pollen basket. Bees collect nectar from flowers too. They drink nectar with their tongues. Some bees make honey out of nectar. These bees are called honeybees. Cool facts about bees. The garden bumblebee has a tongue that is as long as its body. Humans collected honey from early as 6000 BC. Bees have 4 wings, 2 large wings and 2 small wings. Bees can see color. They are most likely to land on flowers that are blue, purple, or yellow. Farmers often hire beekeepers to bring bees to their fields. The bees pollinate the farmer's crop. Honeybees do a dance called the waggle. Scientists think that the dance shows other bees in the hive where the nectar is. About 1/3 of the food on our planet grows because of bees' pollination. It's easy to mistake other insects for bees. They often look alike. But there are ways to tell them apart. Take a closer look at a bee and a yellow jacket wasp, which is not a bee. Do you see the difference? So this is a bee. A bee has hair all over its body that helps to catch pollen. It eats nectar and pollen from flowers, and it has pollen baskets if the bee is female. This is a yellow jacket wasp. It eats mostly meat, such as other insects. It does not have pollen baskets, and it does not have hair. About 20,000 kinds of bees live on Earth. All bees are either solitary bees or social bees. A solitary bee makes a nest for its young. The nest is inside a hole in the ground, in wood, in walls, or in plants. Solitary bees collect pollen, but they do not make honey or beeswax. Most bees are solitary bees. So a solitary bee is a bee that lives alone. A social bee is a bee that lives in groups. Solitary bees do not make honey or beeswax. Social bees live with many other bees. A group of social bees is called a colony. A colony of bees live in a hive. Honeybees are one kind of social bee. As many as 50,000 honeybees may live in one hive. Bees care for their young there. They make and store honey in the hive too. Inside the hive, honeybees build with beeswax. The bees mold the wax into six-sided shapes called cells. Lots of cells together make a honeycomb. A honeycomb is a sheet of six-sided cells made of beeswax. The bees put nectar from flowers into some of the cells. As the nectar gets thicker, it turns into honey. Bees eat the honey for food. Other cells in the hive hold bee eggs. There is one egg in each cell. The eggs hatch. The young bees grow and change. After 21 to 24 days, the young bees become adults. So right here is where each cell has one egg. The adult bees feed and care for the young. The young are almost ready to come out of their cells. So this is the life cycle right here. A bee starts as an egg and becomes an adult in about 3 weeks. Every honeybee in the colony has a special job. These jobs keep the colony healthy and strong. There is only one queen bee. She is bigger than the other bees. She lays all of the eggs, up to 1,500 per day. Worker bees surround the queen. She is the largest bee in the middle. So this is the queen bee, and these are the worker bees. There are two other kinds of bees in the colony. Drone bees are male bees. Their job is to help the queen make eggs. Worker bees have many jobs. These females feed the queen and care for the young. They build the hive and make honey. On long flying trips, they collect pollen and nectar. They also guard the hive against enemies. Phew, that's a lot of work. So this worker bee is collecting pollen from a flower. Some humans build honeybee hives out of wooden boxes. Beekeepers take care of the hives and collect the honey. Beekeepers also check the bee colonies to make sure they are healthy. Beekeepers know how important bees are to our world. They wear special clothes to protect from the stings. So here's a beekeeper right here, and these are all of the honeycombs in the hives that he's protecting. Be aware. Here are some tips for staying safe around bees. Move slowly. Don't wave your arms or jump around. If a bee thinks it's being attacked, it may sting. If a bee comes near you, stand still or walk away slowly. Do not swat at a bee. Let it fly away on its own. Do not disturb any bee nest or honeybee hive. These bees will defend their home and may sting you. If you are stung by a bee, put ice on the sting. If you leave the bees alone, they will probably leave you alone. The end. Now it is your turn to write about the different facts about bees and what you learned today.